Casterton is a town in Victoria, Australia, located on the Glenelg Highway, 42 km east of the South Australian border, in the Shire of Glenelg. The Glenelg River passes through the town. Casterton is named after the village of Casterton in southeast Cumbria in England. The township of Casterton began on the crossing side of the Glenelg River, the location having been surveyed in 1840, and the first pub, the Glenelg Inn, was established in 1846 with a post office opening the following year. 3. The early history of the region was marred by violent clashes between settlers and indigenous people, including multiple murders of Aboriginals that took place near Casterton in the late 1830s and early 1840s. In 1891, a large number of Casterton women signed the women's suffrage petition to be tabled in the Victorian Parliament to grant women the right to vote, which was not allowed until 1908. By the 1890s, increasing soil erosion saw wheat farming around Casterton begin to decline, and it was largely replaced by meat, wool and dairy farming. Casterton's population expanded in the early 20th century, especially in the 1920s with the arrival of large numbers of soldier-settler farmers, and during the post-war era in the 1950s. The rail line to Casterton was closed 12 September 1977. The town's population began to decline in the 1990s, which was consistent with the statewide trend of decreasing populations in many rural areas and the aging of the local population. As of the 2021 census, the town had a population of 1,673 with the average age being 58. A large version of the fleur-de-lis, used as the emblem of the Scouts, is carved into Turak Hill, a steep hill overlooking the eastern end of Casterton's main thoroughfare. The design has a circumference of 91 meters. In 1935, the Boy Scouts and Cubs, in honor of the Silver Jubilee celebrations of King George V, carved a large-scale version of the words, "The King," into the hill, each letter some 6 meters long. Encouraged by the success of this, the Scouts, to celebrate the 1941 opening of the town's new Scout Hall, carved the fleur-de-lis emblem into the hill and lit it up at night with the aid of a series of tins filled with oil-soaked rags which were set alight. Years later, the design was lit by electric strip lighting and is illuminated on most evenings throughout the year. The Casterton Line was a branch line running northwest from the Portland Main Line, from the town of Branxholme to the town of Casterton, in Victoria, Australia. Opening in 1884, the line was 51 kilometers long and completely single-track, apart from its stations. The branch line was initially opened from Branxholme to Henty on 15 February 1884, with the rest of the line to Casterton opening later that year. When the line opened, it allowed for the efficient transport of passengers and local produce in the area to the larger town of Hamilton, as well as the Port of Portland. Throughout the early 20th century, traffic on the line grew to the extent that there was a daily goods train to and from Hamilton. In 1927, the Victorian Parliament authorised the construction of a 16.1 kilometres (10.0 miles) extension of the line to Nangila, largely to serve a soldier-settler estate in the area. With the onset of the Great Depression in the 1930s, the extension was never built. Both passenger and freight traffic declined following World War II, and the line was eventually closed completely on 12 September 1977, along with a number of other lines in the southwest of Victoria. Since its closure, the track has been completely removed and the rail reserve mostly sold. The Casterton station building and the goods shed at Henty station remain, along with some traces of the other 3 stations on the line. Casterton lays claim to be the birthplace of the breed of working dog known as the Kelpie, a Scottish term meaning water sprite, and a name given to a black and tan bitch British working collie owned by Scotsman George Patterson, a farmer who lived north of Casterton in the 1870s. Patterson exchanged Kelpie for a horse, and the dog's new owner, a drover named Jack Gleason, took her to Ardlethan, New South Wales, where she mated with a black male Rutherford sheepdog named Moss, producing several litters. Kelpie later mated with another male named Caesar, producing a female pup named King's Kelpie, which grew to become a champion sheepdog. In 1997, a working dog auction was held in Casterton, an annual event which grew to become the Casterton Kelpie Festival in 2001. The auction and festival event is now held each June in Casterton.